All right, guys, I have been doing some traveling. Went out to Bellator, took in Bader versus Nemkov, and on the way back, it's a very long flight. And that's in Connecticut. I'm in Portland. In the world of traveling and staying within the country, that's about as long of a flight as you can do. On that flight, I downloaded something called the internet, and I had plenty of time to read it because nobody on the airplane wants to make friends and visit right now. All right, great. And I saw nothing but bad ideas. Like every single thing I read, I go, that's a bad idea. I scroll a little bit more. There's another bad idea, almost like it was just bad idea day. Let me tell you my three worst. And I don't know that I have a descending or particular order. Perhaps you could help me identify that. But bad idea number one, Oscar De La Hoya is going to come back to boxing. Now, there's multiple problems with this. First off, he left against his own accord the first time back in something known as his prime. His prime be identified as a day when he was competitive with other people in his field. Oh, and by the way, he practiced the sweet science on a regular basis. To make believe he has become better at something by not practicing it would qualify as a bad idea. But within his challenge, he also was challenging one of the top guys as of right now. Now, Oscar wouldn't be like a lot of fighters that raise their hand at some point in their life and go, I want to do that again. He wouldn't and hope somebody picks him up. He is a promoter. He is distribution. He has everything that you would ever need to just slide right in. All of those things are true. But as a promoter to come out 50 years old, hair gray, belly bigger than it used to be, and proclaim that he can go in and beat some of the top guys, he must be speaking about his own guys. So if his definition of signing said guys is to be their promoter, it sounds like he just demoted them all at once while presenting an idea that nobody wants to see. That's got to qualify as a bad idea. Leon Edwards, God bless him, hadn't done anything wrong. Love to see him fight again. Caught up in a million unfair things, but had the bad idea of challenging George Masvidal to a street fight that they will film and air on YouTube. Now, you can quickly deduce at least the reasoning, no matter how backwards that reasoning is. You can deduce the reasoning of Leon, which is, I want to fight George because he gave me a 3-piece and a soda that I never answered for. And by the way, I know George isn't against doing those kinds of things because when he was 18 years old, he used to do backyard street fights and put them on YouTube. So Leon put all of the pieces together of something that Masvidal used to do. And it would seem as though, how far do you want to play that? Hey, Masvidal, here's a great idea. I want you to go and learn how to read with a 3rd grade class. We used to do it. Give me 3-4 good hours, reach into something known as a paper sack and pull out a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for lunch that your mother made the night before. What do you mean you don't eat peanut butter and jelly? You used to do it. The bigger idea, guys, I'm not sure Leon realizes why he never got that match with Masvidal. Leon was innocent, for sure. There was an organic piece of theater that never should have taken place, but it did get caught on camera. It was relevant to the story, and it did see the light of day. When things like that happen, it would generally lean towards the idea of them being matched up. Why was this one different? This one was never made. This one was never attempted to be made. This didn't have anything to do with the pandemic. It didn't even have anything to do with Masvidal going in winning the BMF. Why was this fight not made? These two got into a dust-up in front of a camera, organically, backstage, caught on footage. Why wasn't it made? Because the behavior was so bad, it was so anti what we do here in terms of competitive nature under the unified rules, that should either or both athletes be rewarded by giving a sanctioned bout against each other, it would be like a bell going off in every other uncreative fighter's mind to have ever existed to go, oh, anytime I want to fight with somebody, instead of calling them out in the media, Instead of going to social, instead of working my way towards them, all I have to do is attack them and just make sure there's a camera around. Do you see the problem? There's a reason this fight, it couldn't be made. It checked a lot of boxes. Same weight class, two studs, similar mindset, great records, both coming off of good wins, same time, same night, same everything, both of them dance cards empty. It made a lot of sense. Why didn't it happen? It couldn't happen. You cannot have that kind of organic behavior, which in some cases could be used, promoted, and celebrated to reward it. You can't do that, which makes it a bad idea. Then you've got Tito going into wrestling. And I don't know where this one fits on the list, but this one is a very peculiar way to spend your time. In the world of Tito having a dream yet to be fulfilled, man, good for him. In all fairness, good for him. We all have dreams, and a lot of times the starting is the stopping. The stopping is the start. We just never get off the block. Tito sees something, he's going for it, good for him. It just defies what wrestling does. I mean, think of it this way. Tito is 44 years old and does not know the difference between a wrist lock and a wristwatch. There are other 44-year-olds who are superstars within this business, but who have been shown the door just because of their age. I mean, there's a number of guys right now that could hit a Hurricane Rana off the top rope or pile drive you on the concrete while keeping your opponent safe, but they happen to be 44 years old. And therefore, they don't have a seat at the table. This 44-year-old is in the training center with 18 and 19-year-olds. Those 18 and 19-year-olds are 5 and 6 and 7 years away from being on television, just because they're at the same learning space. So for Tito to be at the same learning space as they are, and let's just say through the heaven above, he can keep his body in shape along with those guys, and he progresses at those guys, that would put him 52 before he ever got on television. In the world of bad ideas, that qualifies.